Hello everybody, SDS Men here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the brand new episode of The Last of Us that just came out, Through the Valley. Specifically, I want to talk about the ending scene or collection of scenes and my thoughts on it. A couple things before we move forward. Number one, spoilers. Spoilers for all of the Last of Us video games, Last of Us 1 and 2, and spoiler for all of the Last of Us shows. If you don't want to be spoiled for the show on what's happened and what is potentially going to happen, this is not the video for you. In this video, I am simply going to analyze the final scene in this episode, kind of compare it to the show, talk about adaptations, what they changed, my feelings on it, and all that kind of stuff. So from this point on, it's spoilers. If you haven't clicked away from the video, it's your own damn fault. Here we go. Spoilers start now. Joel dies. There you go. Boom, bam, bam, bada boom, bam, pow. Joel dies. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, now that we got all those fucking guys out of here, or if you're now spoiled and you're still here, welcome. Just want to talk really quick about this most recent episode of Last of Us. Particularly, I really want to talk about Joel's death scene. Did I like it? Did they do a good job adapting it? They changed a lot of stuff. Do I like the changes? Gonna talk about all that. But first, I want to give some context. I really love The Last of Us video games. I love The Last of Us Part 1, and I love The Last of Us Part 2. I really enjoy The Last of Us TV show. There are aspects of it I don't enjoy. I think season 1 was good. I think it started off strong and kind of got weaker as it went on. I wasn't really a huge fan of some of the things they changed in the first season, but overall, I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Starting off for season 2, I thought the last episode was really good. I thought it set up a lot of cool stuff, and it had a lot of new character dynamics. I liked the stuff they adapted, and I think it was pretty good. And I feel generally pretty similar about this episode, although overall, the reason I made this video is I'm not a fan of how they adapted Joel's death scene. Do I think it's like terrible and the worst thing ever? No. Do I think it's like, ruins the entire show and you should never watch it again? No. But I for such a powerful scene and one that I think is a crutch to the themes of the video game and the story, I feel that if you don't do it properly, you risk a lot of issues down the line. And I think that I'm a little bit concerned about a couple of things, and I just really want to talk about it. So I'm about the yap. This is a yap sesh. This is where we're at. So, okay, let's talk about Joel's death scene. The first thing I really want to talk about that really stood out to me is I think it's, just generally speaking, pretty visually uninteresting. All right, here's a screenshot of what it looks like from the TV show. Take a look. Take a yander. Now here's what it looks like, a screenshot from the video game. Okay? Oh, I think you can already tell visually much of a different vibe, right? And The Last of Us video game in this Joel's death scene is very dark, right? It's very dreary. Has this sense of like fucking disgusting, unimaginable filth to it. Whereas, look at it's pretty bright and you can kind of see everything. And hey, this is. Did you guys try? Did you guys try? God, I just like I it bothers me when media doesn't try to make things visually interesting. And for this show, this is kind of surprising because I feel like the show does a pretty generally good job of making things visually interesting. The sets are always really good. The designs are really good. But here it's just like, okay, we're just like in the cabin in the middle of the fucking mountains. All right, cool. That's where Joel dies. Where in the video game it's like no. This place isn't just a middle of the woods, fucking mountain kind of place. This is where Joel dies. That's what this place is. This place is where Joel dies. Where I don't get that same feeling, and at least in its visual representation of the scene. I really don't think it's very good, and it's just very uninteresting. That's how I would explain that. Okay, the death scene. Just kind of want to talk about some things. I'm going to talk about it from different characters' perspectives and how I think they handled this death scene overall. Now, one of the biggest changes in this death scene that I really want to highlight is the fact that Abby says a lot of shit, okay? She has a monologue. She talks quite a bit. And she goes on and on and on about a bunch of different things, some of which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But really, just the fact that she does have a monologue, does have a moment to explain to Joel, and kind of does have like that evil person monologue during this time. You know, I don't like it. I don't like it. In the video game, there are things that I think it does that scene really, really well. Is that there isn't much time to process what's happening. It just kind of fucking happens, right? And the death scene, Tommy and Joel walk in, and it's just like, oh, what's your name? Oh, my name's Tommy. Oh, what's your name? Joel. Oh, you seem like you guys know me. Yeah, we do, bitch. Boom! Bada boop, boom, pow. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You ain't gonna rush this, you little bitch. You little fucking bitch. Bop, boom, bow, you're dead. Boom, that's it. Whereas this, it feels like fucking Abby is like, let me twist my mustache. Let me get a little bit of a speech in. I must fucking tell you exactly why I'm killing you and exactly why you must die. And I'm just like, God, I don't. It feels much more authentic in the video game. It feels much. It doesn't necessarily. Rushed isn't the right word, but it is kind of rushed. Like it happens very quickly. You don't really have time to process it. It really helps shock it, develop that shock. Whereas this, it sort of feels like that shock, and maybe it is a little bit different because I am watching it knowing what's going to happen. But it feels like it is almost the show is just like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Get ready for this. Are you ready for this? Okay, here we go. And I really like how the video game did that. Quick divergent, really quick. Do want to talk about this before we get back to this monologue. Do want to mention, I like analyzing adaptations, and I want to mention, what does the word adapt mean? What does that word mean? It means to change, right? Obviously, you're changing a story from one medium to another. But when you adapt stuff, you're going to have to change things, okay? Last of Us changes a lot of things, right? The first season, the second season. And just because something is changed doesn't make it bad. I want to stress that enough. Something that I really don't like, I think it makes discourse about adaptations really lame, is when someone goes, it was like this in the book, but now it's like this in the show, and how dare they? Like, I that's it. Like, that's it. Okay, that's why you don't like it, just because it's different. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Something can be different, and it can be good. I think that there are plenty of examples of this. I think that the first season adds a lot of new things that weren't in the show, and that makes it very interesting. That therapy scene from last episode, that's not from the video game. They add that in there. I like that. You can change certain things about a scene and make it a different way, but it has to be a purpose to it and a reason. And the reason why I really want to emphasize this is maybe there is. And I could change my mind about this. I could be completely wrong, and it could be in the end, this all works out. What I'm all saying. So all these criticisms could be different if the story handles it a certain way, but knowing the video game and knowing what's going to happen, unless they drastically change it, these have consequences. And that's where I'm very concerned, where I think certain themes and certain elements that made The Last of Us 2 video game, that story really interesting, is going to make this just a completely less interesting version. And therefore, in my opinion, a weaker adaptation. Hopefully I'm wrong. But that's where I feel about this. But going kind of back to the monologue, another aspect I really don't like about it is it almost feels like Abby is, or the show rather, is saying, let Abby explain how she feels. This is how I feel, instead of showing it, right? Let's not show the audience why Abby is pissed off. Instead, let's have Abby tell us. And tell us why she's doing this. Yes, Joel, this is why I'm doing this. I don't like this. I think the video game is much stronger because it shows you rather than tells you. Okay, now let's get to the main thing. One of my big problems and concerns I had with the last episode kind of came to fruition in this episode, and I think it's going to come to fruition with me having a bigger problem with it later down the season and in the show. Hopefully I'm wrong though. But first of all, last episode kicks off with introducing Abby, which is different from the video game. And I already was concerned about this because the aspect I like about the video game is you don't know who Abby is. You don't know why Abby kills Joel. And here she just tells him, hey, you killed my dad, and that's why I'm killing you. And I think this creates a lot of potential issues. And I'm going to kind of break it down. Let's first talk about why I think it's great in the game why you don't find this information out until like halfway through the game, till pretty late in the game. In the video game, Abby just kind of shows up and she goes, all right, we got to find this fucking guy. And you already kind of have an intuition of it's Joel. And you immediately kind of get worried. You're like, oh man, please don't kill my favorite dad. Please don't kill my favorite dad. I don't want my favorite dad to die. This kind of sets that up, but it never really reveals it. And then when she finally does kill Joel, you're like, you fucking bitch. You are a fucking bitch. I want to fucking kill you, which is perfect because they're putting you in the shoes of Ellie, right? And I'm not saying that people aren't going to get that same feeling out of this, but what the game smartly does is makes you feel those feelings until later they reveal why Abby did it, right? It's not about what happens in the story. It's about how you tell it and when you tell it, when you divulge the information. What I'm really excited for about this season, I think they're doing really, really well, is Ellie and Joel's relationship. They didn't show us that scene on the porch where they made up, but in this episode, they revealed that conversation did happen. We will be seeing that. We will also be seeing other flashbacks, things that have happened in the last 5 years. We will learn that Ellie already knows what Joel did and has known this whole time. Great. Awesome. If they already revealed that at this point, then what the fuck's even point of the season, right? That's kind of what I feel about Abby, though. I feel like we're going to lose some interest in Abby's story because they revealed this so early. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But in the game, you find this out later, right? Whereas here, Abby says, you killed my dad. Therefore, I'm mad at you. Then she kills Joel. And the issue is that as her killing the Joel kind of undermines her that information being revealed, right? The reason why we're so fucking pissed off at Abby is because there is no reason to rationalize it. What the fuck? How dare you, right? But then as we go on, as we get the story, as we learn about Joel and Ellie's relationship and what Joel did, and all right, maybe Joel's not this great person, and then we find this out. Are we still pissed off about it? Sure. But I think at that point, it's much easier then to be able to sympathize with her. But why are we trying to sympathize her now? Why are we trying to paint this picture now? I think the showrunners are fucking scared. I truthfully do believe this. I believe that they're aware of the criticism of the game, and they're like, okay, well, let's kind of soften the blow a little bit, right? Let's kind of like reveal this early, so we can kind of, soften the blow a little bit. You know what I mean? That way people aren't so fucking angry, which I hate, man. Make us fucking pissed, right? Go to the extreme. Be confident in your storytelling. This really reeks of them not being confident. Like, we're not confident. We can tell the story without it being really divisive and without it being, kind of something that pisses people off. But like, yeah, piss people off, man. That's the point of the story. That's the point of this, is to be pissed off about it. This really doesn't work if you're not as pissed off about it. And again, not saying people who might watch the show for the first time aren't like completely pissed off. Like, how dare you kill my favorite dad? The same feeling I felt in 2020. But I'm just like, God damn, bro. Like, the revealing that Abby's dad died first it just gets undercut. It almost is like, hey, you kill my dad, and then you kill Joel, and now it completely undercuts that. Who gives a fuck that Joel killed your dad? You just killed him. What the fuck? Now I'm pissed at you. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck now. Fuck you, right? And then if you reveal it later and show it, it's like, okay, well, if I didn't know this, it might hit harder. But I already fucking knew this. Fuck you. You know what I mean? That's where I feel like that aspect of it and how you tell the story is so important. I think that was a huge misstep. I really think they should not have given that away. She should have just killed Joel there, and we still not know why she did it. That would have made us more pissed off. That would have said, fuck you, right? Maybe there's some rationalization. I can speak. Rationalization behind this, but fuck you. I don't give a fuck. You just killed Joel, until we find out later. And we go, oh shit, actually I do kind of care, right? That's kind of how, in my opinion, the video game worked. I think it worked in that way. Another change they made that I'm not sure why, and I think this is something we're gonna have to see. This is gonna be answered in the next couple episodes. But why was Dina present for Joel's dying, or at least she wasn't conscious? But why was it Dina there except for Tommy? That I don't really understand. I have a few theories. I'm gonna talk about why those theories are. But it's a change that I'm not a huge fan of. I think that ultimately Tommy is somebody that his story in the video game, while it's like kind of in the background and going on, it sort of revolves around him being there. don't think it's going to hit as heavy if Tommy makes the same decisions he made in the game. Maybe they're setting for him up to not make those same decisions where he abandons his family. Although how the last episode set up, I'm like, oh shit, now this motherfucker has a kid. Like that's gonna make what he does in the show that if he does what he did in the game, which I'm assuming he's going to, hit more because like this guy's a fucking kid now, right? And that's great because it's going to emphasize how revenge and how the thirst and journey for revenge can completely destroy what you have. And now he has more to lose. But now I think that makes just a little bit less sense. Sure, he's still his brother, but like the shock and moment and like PTSD and like seek of revenge that he has from him being involved in it is now gone. Now it is transferred to Dina, who is a character that is way more, at least in the game, way more prevalent and way more screen present than Tommy. But like, what is that really going to do for Dina? I'm kind of curious. She now has more relationship with Ellie. Now something the show could do that might work. And again, all these criticisms could, so at least some of them could be alleviated, right? I still think visually it's uninteresting, and that's not going to, my opinion is that's not going to change. But my opinion on this could definitely change. What I think they could possibly do is Dina was there. She kind of has some validation to be just as have that motivation to go more than she in the game. Because in the game, it's just kind of like, oh, Ellie's pissed off. Sure, I'm sad Joel's dead, but I'm tagging along because my girl's going, right? Whereas this is not, now she might be like, no, Ellie, I'm right with you. Let's fucking kill this motherfucker. Hell, I want to kill her myself. My prediction is they could ultimately make it so, even though Dina is just as motivated as Ellie, when it comes time to pull out, she's like, we got to stop. Like, we have to stop this. But Ellie's the one to be like, no, we got to keep fucking going. No, we got to keep fucking going. And that is at the crux because she didn't have that time with Joel. She forgave him right before he died. Like, that's fine. I would be okay with that because then it would be a good comparison to show how sure Dina experienced the same feelings, but it's not eating her up in the same way it's eating up Ellie. And she's ready to pull out, but Ellie just can't let it go. And that's the whole story. She can't let it go. But Dina is able to let it go, right? That could be a good foil for Ellie. And maybe that's what they're going to do. Could be. The true reason, though, I feel like Tommy this was Dina instead of Tommy. It's a couple things. One, Tommy can't be in fucking Jackson doing his badass things, saving the day from the zombies. My thoughts on this is kind of conflicted. I thought visually it was fun to see, but what did this do? Right? Jackson getting attacked. How does this change? Right? What does this change in the story? Right? No one notable died. Sure, we got a cool like zombie scene, but like I don't really understand the point of this. What it serves the plot, if it does at all. I guess that is something we're gonna have to see. But I think truly, guys, what they were trying to do was soften the blow of Joel's death by being like, oh man, you lost one lovable father. Well, here's another lovable father. Look at this badass lovable father. Isn't he so cool? And like, God, like commit to your fucking, be confident in the story you're telling, guys. It feels like this episode was like, let's make it a soft blow. Like, oh, you lost Joel, but here's another dad that's going to be here. Don't worry, guys. We got you covered. Like, come on, guys. Like, be confident in your story. Let Joel die. Make it fucking, be confident in doing it. And you don't have to soften the blow. Make it as fucking hard as possible, man. Whatever. Nitpicks, maybe. While this was all going on, you're worrying about Tommy. Tommy's going to die from the bloater. Tommy's going to die. Please say alive, Tommy. And it gives you enough time to distract you from the possibility of Joel dying. So when Joel dies, it is a little bit more shocking. I'm thinking maybe from a writer's perspective because they revealed, hey, my name's Abby. Hey, I want to kill Joel. Hey, he killed my father. Let's all reveal that, right? Instead of, it's too late. They already did reveal that. So since we did reveal this, hey, why don't, sure, we know what's going to happen. Let's try to create a little bit of misdirection, make people worry a little bit about Tommy dying when they should be worrying about Joel dying. Could be possible. Still, I don't think it's justified. But here's the thing. Since Tommy is in Jackson, and since Dina is with Joel, that means now Jesse is with Ellie. I'm not sure why this change happened. I really liked the scenes with Dina and Ellie in the beginning of the game. I think it built their relationship. I thought it was like moments of happiness and bliss that were immediately, boom, fucking destroyed by Joel's death. And that like sharp contrast was big and really changed the whole element of the story. But truthfully, okay, Now Jesse is with Ellie. What does he add to Ellie's story? I think he adds a lot in the beginning when they're talking, and a lot of it's adapted from the video game when they're in Jackson. But as soon as they leave Jackson, what happens? They go to Eugene's old hideout at 7-Eleven when he's growing weed, and then they're on the radio, and there's I don't know. There is a cool line I really like when Jesse are talking about Eugene and the Firefly, now Joel to kill him, and Jesse goes, well, I guess Joel just had to kill him, no other choice. And that's a cool little parallel, of course, to what happened with Ellie, and she knows that Joel did that, and she's still dealing with that. So I like that, how they point into that. And you can kind of see Ellie's reaction to that. Like, yeah, maybe Joel did have no choice. But when she knows that, and now she's like, did he have a choice? What the fuck? I mean, we don't know the story of Eugene. But at least we know that, hey, like, it's a cool parallel there. I like that parallel. But that still could have been Dina. Dina could have said that line. Jesse saying that line doesn't make it any different. I don't know why Jesse's here. I'm not really sure. Maybe they could have even had Jesse be with Joel. I think that maybe would have been fine too. Maybe. And then just instead of Tommy, it's Jesse. I think that might have worked a little bit better because you could have built Dina's and Ellie's relationship while you still build Jesse and Ellie's relationship in the beginning of the when they're in Jackson. But I don't think the scenes together between Ellie and Jesse really build to any character development for Ellie or for Jesse individually. And I just don't think that it ultimately added much to the story. So again, adaptation to change. Not always bad to change things. There has to be a reason why. Could I be missing the reason why? Absolutely. But do I think there's a good reason why? I personally do not. Let's talk about this from Ellie's perspective. So Ellie walks in. She can't save Joel. She's like, please don't kill Joel, and he dies. That also happens in the video game. However, I do kind of want to talk about some performance stuff here. Now, I want to fucking put an asterisk on this by saying I think that Bella Ramsey has done a great job as Ellie. And I do think she did a good job in this scene too. The things and the issues I'm about to say isn't so much a perspective from the actor, but more so the director. Maybe a little bit of the writers too, but I think maybe some more direction would have really helped. A different direction from the director of this episode. In the video game, Ellie's reaction to Joel dying captures so many different emotions. And I think here, in the show, it captures the sadness and sorrowness, right? We see how sad Ellie is, right? How sad she is. But I don't feel the desperation. And I don't feel the anger. Like in the video game, the performance that Ashley Johnson gives, like it feels like she is fucking like begging for her fucking life. Like, not even begging. Begging isn't the right word. Because she's like, please don't kill Joel. She's more like, you fucking motherfucker. And it's just like her performance. I can't even capture it in her voice. Her voice is straining. And it's almost like her voice and voice box and voice itself is being pushed to its absolute fucking limits. And it captures the sense of desperation, anger, and sadness all in one. It's fucking perfect. And I just don't get that from Bella Ramsey. I think she's capable of it, but I wish the direction added, hey, have some more visceral anger, have some more fucking like palpable fucking anger. That's so important. That angriness, capture that shit because you need to. It's a revenge story. It's so fucking important. And I'm not saying they're not going to capture it in the next couple episodes. I think they are. I think we are going to see her anger. But God, I just wish we got that fucking visceral fucking anger. But maybe it's just, again, more of a credit to Ashley Johnson because she fucking nailed that out of the park. And again, probably had great direction. But I really did miss a little bit of that from Ellie's performance. But, that doesn't change this a lot for me. It changes a little bit, but I still have a lot of the problems, even if this performance was good. Again, a lot of my problems are with more of how they wrote and did this with Abby than it is really with Ellie. But so something else, another decision they decided not to do was they didn't. And again, maybe they could change this, right? We're gonna have to see. This could be a story decision, right? Maybe there's more of a jump in time, so this wouldn't have worked, but. Is Mel not going to be pregnant? That would be very, very, very weird, right? The parallel of her being pregnant with Dina being pregnant. That's a big one. That's a big one. Curious on what they're going to do there. Would be very much less interesting if they decide to get rid of one or damn near both of those. Please don't do that. Maybe they will. Who fucking knows? Here's what I will say, though. When you meet Abby, right, and Owen, and they're talking, that first scene, God, I love that scene, man, where Owen... says, hey, Mel's pregnant. We got to turn around. Boom. Okay. We got to go. Now, In this episode, Owen is kind of Owen-like, from the game, where he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna convince her we gotta go back." All this stuff, and I like that. I think that's good, right? I think that's good characterization. We're gonna see, I'm sure, that a lot in the story later on. But what I will say is, I don't like that they got rid of ultimately the dynamic of her being pissed at Owen, like, "Oh yeah, fuck you, bitch. You got Mal pregnant. Fuck you. I'm gonna go on my own, do this myself, bitch. Fuck you." And that's like Abby's isolation. That's Abby like, "I'm doing this on my own." Instead, it's just Abby just out there, happen to be out there. "Oh, there's two people on horses. Let me go after them," right? I don't like that they get rid of these character choices, man. I don't like that they get rid of them. I feel like we have weaker characterization here. And I feel like it's either the story is too afraid to do it or they don't understand the source material. The characters are very subtle in the video game. They have a lot of subtle elements on them where if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. If you don't really think about it, you'll miss it. And as I played the game more and more, and as I've experienced the story more and more, I've picked up on more and more things. And these characters become more in depth. They become more enriched. And I just feel like, unfortunately, I'm not so sure this episode did a great job of doing that. And again, are all these changes bad? Maybe, maybe not. Could some of these changes work? They potentially could. But I really feel like ultimately what I got from this death scene is it's not nearly as bold, not nearly as brash. It's a lot more predictable. It's a lot more safe than that of the video game. And it just feels like where in the game they just punch you a million times, and in the show they set up a little blanket for you and a little pillow, and then they push you on there. So you have a little bit of a softer landing. You're sure still hurts, right? Landing on the floor still hurts, but you have a pillow underneath you, hurts a little bit less. And that's where I just feel like here I don't know if it's lack of confidence or if they were like, "Hey, let's get ahead of the criticism and let's change our story." No, be confident in the story you tell. This is how we're going to fucking tell it. This is how we're going to do it. But clearly, they didn't want to do it that way. Now, a lot of things could change here, right? If you change this stuff, they're going to change things in the future. You can make other changes to make this story work. And maybe there's a reason why for that. But then I ask, why do that? Why do that? I don't know. I'm not so sure. But that's overall my thoughts on it. I still think the episode was overall like solid. I think that, this is an adaptation. And there are things that get changed. I think there are good changes. I think there are bad changes. I think that when it comes to Abby's character and when it comes to Joel's death, some of the changes they made, specifically revealing motivations, explaining feelings, monologuing, I just think that could lead to some weaker characterization and ultimately hurt the story. We'll see if that's the case. Maybe I'll make a video at the end of the season, give my overall thoughts. If you would like that, let me know. If you like this video, let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think of The Last of Us. Did you guys like this episode? Do you think they did Joel's death good? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious about that. Guys, I will see you all on the future video. Maybe if I ever make a video again, who fucking knows? Maybe this is my last video. Probably not, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll give my thoughts on The Last of Us if you guys want me to. Let me know. Till then, see you guys later.